laparoscopic gastric band experience of Sandra Hall from Parsons, Oklahoma, USA. By profession, Sandra is the director of a not-for-profit organization that provides support and services for persons with developmental disabilities. Sandra visited Mexico for the lap band surgery. She shares the reasons why she decided on the surgery, her choice of Medical Tourism Corporation as the trip facilitator, her choice of Mexico as the destination, her medical journey, and progress. The interview was taken 30 days after her surgery.
Well, my name is Sandra Hall, and my profession is I'm the director of an agency that provides services to persons with disabilities. I've been working in this field for almost 14 years. I've been the director for 2. I'm married. I've been married for 10 years, and I have 3 children. They're 17, 14, and 8, and then I have a 15-year-old niece who lives with me. Well, I had struggled with my weight most of my life. In 2007, the year 2007, I decided to really concentrate on working out and trying to eat right and lose the excess weight. And I started that program in February of 2007. I spent the majority of that year working out 3 days, 4 days, sometimes 5 days a week. I watched what I ate. I just, I really was dedicated to really getting the weight off. And by the end of 2007, I really didn't see much progress. And I had actually resumed jogging, which was something I hadn't done since high school. And so, I had always kind of felt like in the back of my mind, if I just got to the point where I couldn't lose the weight on my own, then I was going to check into bariatric surgery. So in doing so, I was surfing the web, and I'd heard about the lap band procedure, so I searched that, and that's kind of how I got to know about going overseas for medical procedures. Well, the biggest pull for me to do overseas surgery was the cost. I do have insurance, but bariatric procedures or weight loss procedures are 100% excluded from that. And so, since I knew I was going to have to pay the cost, that was very much a reason why I wanted to do it outside of the United States. Like I said, when I was surfing the web, looking over the internet, doing some research, the Medical Tourism Corporation website came up. I entered some information, and just very shortly after that, I received a phone call, and that's what got the ball rolling. Well, I felt like the communication lines were they worked really well. If I had a question, I could just pick up the phone and make a phone call, or get on the computer and write a quick email, and the responses were very quick. And I was a little apprehensive at first because I personally had never been outside of the United States, but I had just decided that this was the path that I needed to take with my weight loss. And so it took a little time, but the fear faded, and then my mind was just made up, and so I went for it. Well, I do live in a small town, and there is kind of that small town mentality that people kind of are set in their ways, and it's unusual. Not unheard of, but unusual for people to go to another country to have a medical procedure. And so when people would hear that that's what I was doing, everybody had an opinion about it. Everybody had questions. News traveled fast. People would come up to me that I hadn't talked to in a while, and they would say, I heard you're going, or you've went to Mexico to have surgery, and how, what made you think of that, or weren't you scared, or weren't you worried? And there was, it was, I had to do a lot of reassuring other people that I would be okay. Well, my immediate family, my husband was very supportive of my decision. My kids were a little worried, I think they were more worried about me being gone and who was going to cook for them for a few days. But my family was apprehensive. My mother is a nurse, and she takes healthcare very seriously. And, like I said, being that no one we really knew had done this before, no one could really say, oh, that was a successful experience. So I was kind of the pioneer for the family and for my friends and for the community to do this. But now that it's over and done, and it was a very successful procedure and everything went well, everyone's singing a different tune now. Well, Sheila, who works for medical tourism, and who has had a procedure, a lap band procedure, and had lots of experience with that, made arrangements put me in touch with a doctor very close to where I live who could do the fills and the adjustments to the lap band once I returned. She gave me lots of good insight about the recovery and how much time I would need and kind of what to expect. And so it was arranged and very helpful. The hospital was beautiful. Everything was very clean and organized, and it had lots of very pretty artwork and sculptures. The hospital staff was very polite and just very accommodating. As soon as myself and my friend who traveled with me got there, they greeted us. They just helped us get checked in, get all the paperwork signed, get up to my room. The room was very clean and the bathroom was beautiful. So it was very comfortable and very, very pleasing. I would say, in my opinion, it's a very clean, very pretty, very organized. The staff was very friendly and made you feel like they had time, to work with you, and they made me feel very comfortable. It was unlike any hospital in the United States that I've been in, and so I would say, in my personal opinion, that I would say it was better. It was just overall great experience. I healed quite well. I had 4 small incisions, and the doctor afterwards, came in. The dietitian came into my room. Everybody just worked to let me know what to expect as far as my healing process, and it went great. My expectations were exceeded. It was basically using medical tourism took all the guesswork out of, how to make arrangements to have surgery. I just, if I had a question, I called, or I got I emailed, and I would get a response very quickly. And I just, just the whole process, I would definitely do it again. It was very easy to allow medical tourism to do the work for me. They made all the arrangements with the hospital, with for my transportation from the airport to the hotel to the hospital. As far as making the payment arrangements, all that was taken care of. So I did very little, but I get to reap the rewards. Well, I would say, it's a personal choice, and it's one that I felt like I needed to make for myself, being that it's very cost effective to do overseas surgery. And I feel like I got much better than what I had expected quality care. So, the reduced cost, the knowledge, I have and will recommend it to other people. And, anybody who asks me about my procedure or what, got me to go down the path of overseas surgery, I'm definitely going to recommend medical tourism.
Visit www.medicaltourismco.com for more information and to request a free quotation.